I genuinely feel like all most people need is answers. That's how I feel like, I genuinely feel like all most people need is just answers and knowledge to make a decision. But because most people now get the knowledge, because most people now get the answers, them decide, say, yo, yeah, hear me? Me nah do it. Right? Now, my stance from day one has always been, everybody should have a choice. Nobody should push nothing upon nobody. That has always been my stance. See? But I personally feel like, say, if the leaders would simply answer some of the questions, most of the people them where I say them nah do it. Me no feel like say them I say them nah do it and them nah go do it ever, I feel like, and if you don't agree with me, you make me know. If you don't disagree with me, make me know. I feel like most of the people them right now where I say, me nah do it, me not want that. Most persons are just saying that no because they want to watch and see the outcome. Me feel like most people where I say them not want it, just a watch to see what is going to happen before them decide to do it. I personally feel like a data go on. Me not feel like most of the people where I say them nah do it is anti-vaccine. Them just want to wait to see the outcome. See? And I believe that if the leaders would simply have a conversation where they would say, yeah, hear me? I know that there are several persons out there who is querying the ingredients of this thing. So let's put that to let's silence that right now. This is what is in it. It consists of A, B, C, D, E. And give persons the peace of mind of knowing what they are getting. I feel like that would solve a lot of the problem, But because it seems like they are not answering the questions, people are look on it like, well, man, why you can't talk to we? That is how people are look on it, A lot of persons only looking at the fact that they are not being transparent. See? Now, like I've always said, everybody has a right to do what they want to do. See it? And as I said when I start a live stream here, this is not about conspiracy theories. So I don't want we have a conspiracy type of conversation. Charismatic J, yeah man, I know. I ended YouTube and Facebook. See it? I don't want it to be a conspiracy type of conversation where persons are said, yo, me hear this in a one video, or me see this on the internet. No. I don't want it to be that type of conversation. I want it to be the type of conversation where people can walk away with informed, facts we want, exactly. People can walk away knowing facts. Because remember now, you gotta have a man like me who depend on YouTube, see, and social media, and I can have my thoughts as to why certain things is the way it is. And me decide, say, yo, you know what? Me I go make a video. And I'm going to put it out. And because what I am saying may sound realistic, a lot of persons may take it and run with it, but don't know that is just something that I theorized. Right? And it's not actual facts. Because you have some conspiracy theorists who, them trust me, the way them deliver the conspiracy, it's believable. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that a lot of these conspiracy theorists, they can't be right, That is not what I'm saying. But some of the times, we need to pick the sense out of the nonsense. See? So, this conversation is not based on the conspiracies. Let's have a factual conversation. Let's talk about why you would or would not take it. Let's talk about why you have taken it or why you have not taken it. See? Now the next thing when we want to point out is this. The people them we are go against them one another. I don't see why that is happening. Me not understand why if someone has not taken it, they are being treated like them are some outcasts. As if they are some villain, some criminals. Why? I don't believe it should be that way. Because it seems as if people are being treated that way. The one them when you take it is being treated that way automatically. Boom, from you not take the vaccine, you have it. That is how they make it look. That is how they are making it look. Like, yo, from you not take it, you have it. Why? Now, the leader of our country, the present leader of our country, I heard him make a statement and it just not sit well with me at all. It does not sit well with me at all. And the reason why it does not sit well with me is you have some persons who them not have a mind of them own. See? You have some persons who doesn't have a mind of their own. I'm going to tell you now why I say that. Some people will hear somebody say something and them run with it. They don't think before them act, them just run with it. I'm going to tell you now what I talk about. So the Prime Minister in the most recent sitting at the House said, there may come a time when the unvaccinated may be treated differently from the vaccinated. And those were his exact words. There may come a time when the unvaccinated may be treated differently from the vaccinated. And I personally feel like the Prime Minister should not have said that. Though that time may come, my personal opinion is the Prime Minister should not have said that. And the reason why I feel like the Prime Minister should not have said that is because of the dark, illiterate people them who do not think for themselves, I go grab it and run with it and start to treat people who is not vaccinated like say them sick. I want to think about what I say, you know. The dunce people them who don't know how to think for themselves based on that statement the Prime Minister made is going to take that very same statement and start to treat persons who are not vaccinated as if they are sick. So I do not agree with that statement made by the Prime Minister. As true as it may be, that day is going to come, because true, that day are going to come because they are going to do those things so that who no want to do it will be inclined to do it. See it? But I don't believe that that statement should have been made public. That is my point. And the next statement that was made by the Prime Minister as well. Another statement was made by the Prime Minister as well that does not sit well with me at all. And it's the statement where the Prime Minister said, the very first vaccine that's made available, you should take it. Now people, mind you, and I'm going to put this out there again, I am not telling anybody to take or not to take. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not telling anybody to take or not to take. What I am saying is give people information so that they can decide and know what they are taking. I honestly feel like that is the way it should be. Give persons information so that they can know what they are taking. And I feel like that is what most people want. See it? I feel like that is what most people want. Most people want to know what it is. And as we said, this conversation is not about no conspiracy theories. This conversation is not about you saying, why unstoppable. You know, say me know somebody will take it and one magnet stick on them hand. No. That is not what this conversation is about. We don't want to hear about you seeing somebody in a one video put one magnet on them hand. We don't want to hear say you know somebody who put one magnet on them hand. No. We not run with that kind of conspiracy. Whether it is true or not, I have never seen anybody actually do it. So I'm not shunning it because I don't know whether it is true, whether it happens or not. But that is not what we are talking about. See it? What we are talking about is we want to look at the facts. If you want to join the conversation, the number 876-420-3368. WhatsApp. Join the conversation. Make me hear your views on that topic here. You see what I say? Let me hear your views. As a matter of fact, Orlando, I think I see somebody sending a join request. Let me see. Oh, I think that one there was by accident. See it? Let's hear your views on this. What is the reason why you took the vaccine versus why you not take it? What was your reason? See it? There are a lot of things floating around. Call a good day.
I am one that took the vaccine. I got both vaccines. And it wasn't, I didn't have any reaction other than tiredness. But let me just say, before I took the vaccine, I was scared. Because my husband is up in age, and I was a bit nervous for him, and I was a bit nervous for myself also, being that I was his caretaker. You understand?
Right.
So what I did, I looked at both the positive and the negative, and I listened to the, as we call them, the dunce peoples, as to their concerns, because they're valid.
Right.
Honestly, it's valid. You know why it's valid? Because there's so many people out there putting out false claims that you can't help but to think, what if? You understand me? So when you hear them voicing their concerns, what cleared it up for me that made me go to the next place that was offering it? First of all, my husband is in the military, right? And the military, strong, they give you a lot of reasons why you should be vaccinated, and they kind of accustomed to being vaccinated, to honestly, to tell you the truth. Because when you go to certain places, they want you to be vaccinated. So we're kind of comfortable with that. But I went to the doctor one day, and a man came in, and he wasn't feeling well. He had on his get-up that I knew he was one of those people that were like a rebel without a cause kind of people. You know how they look. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right.
That he was at the doctor, right? Without a mask on, without he didn't want to sanitize his hand. So I got up and I left the doctor. And I'm saying to myself, I'm not vaccinated. So even if this person came in contact with me, and he's, whatever his coughing or whatever his ailment is, I want a fighting chance. Me sitting there with him made me feel so vulnerable. You understand? So I said, you know what? I am going to look and see which one is the lesser of the two evils. You understand? And then, because if I catch it, I have asthma. If I don't catch it, if I leave it and let it sit, and I do catch it, I'll be sick. I mean, I'll definitely have a rough time because I'm an asthmatic. So putting all of these, it's like a scale. You know how you weigh?
Right.
If this happened, this happened, this happened, and the amount of people I looked at it, been vaccinated, and the amount that wasn't vaccinated, and the fact that now there's younger people being sick and they wasn't the one that vaccinated, helped me to make a decision to be vaccinated. You understand? And they're not listening to their doctors to become vaccinated, but you're going back to the same doctors to get treatment. So that kind of made me, I'm not forcing anybody, don't take this as, I'm petitioning for anyone to do it, because I had reservations also.
Right.
You understand? It's for everyone to go and listen, not just to the naysayers. Listen to some people that went through it and and I'm going to tell you something too. My asthma hasn't acted up since I took the vaccine. So for me, I'm kind of glad that I had the vaccine. And also, my husband had an open heart surgery 5 months ago. And when I was in the ICU with him, I seen a lot. And I was kind of glad that I took it. Not that you cannot get COVID, but you stand a fighting chance. That's what people need to get out of their mind. But you can still get it if you stand a fighting chance. We don't know if our leg gonna fall off tomorrow. We don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and pretty up nothing for you. You understand me? But we don't know if we're gonna catch COVID and die tomorrow neither. So the odds are, with the most people that I've seen live because of this vaccine, or fight through it because of the vaccine, and there's some people that because I cannot take the flu vaccine because I'm allergic to eggs. So the flu vaccine will do me more harm than the vaccine. So it's very helpful if you do your homework and get knowledgeable about it, and don't be forced into taking anything.
Now, let me ask you a question. You mentioned that you had your reservations before you took it. Why were you hesitant before?
Because of all what was in the news. It was, you know how they said the black people is guinea pigs, and they just want to experiment on us, and younger people would withstand, because I'm 47. So I'm like on the chalk line, you know? Not all the way over the hill yet, but I'm getting there, you know? I might be with the younger folks, I might not, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here debating whether it applies to me or not, because this thing is not a one-shot deal, everybody goes. So it shouldn't be made, that decision should not be what goes for you goes for me. It should not. But then again, the people that's taking it should not force the ones to take that has reservations to take it. You just give them what they need to work with, because I also, instead of waiting 15 minutes to take it, when I told the people I was sick, they gave me 30 minutes to 45 minutes to sit and be observed afterwards, after taking the vaccine.
Let me ask you another question. As a person that took the vaccine, right? How do you view those who refuses to take it?
Well, I have friends and family members that refused, that had COVID already, was in the hospital already. Family members for my friends, auntie and an uncle died father and an uncle and an aunt died from it, and she still refused. I say she's not ready yet, or she haven't had the answers to make it clear enough for her to be comfortable to take it yet. She cannot be judged, because I was at one point where she was.
All right, one final question before I take another call. This is my final question to you. You said just now that your aunt still hasn't gotten the answers that she needs to make a decision, have you gotten the answers that you needed while you took it?
Really and truly, I rolled the dice.
So you still
I'm not
haven't.
gonna lie to you.
So you still haven't gotten the
I rolled the
answers
dice.
yet.
I'm still looking and listening because I know sometimes the government can be trusted. So I made the best decisions with the information that I have right now. And there's a lot of people just not comfortable in making that decision at this point.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot for calling. Appreciate it. All right.
All right. Take care now.
All right.
Bye.
So the lady said that she took it. All right, Bujo British, don't write things like that. See, let's try to keep it respectful. Remember, we said this is a conversation for those who took it and those who did not take it. We're not cuss nobody, we're not bash nobody, we're not tear down nobody. We're not going to allow those who took it to be bashed, and we're not going to allow those who don't take it to be bashed. We're just having we want to hear from both sides. That is the reason for this conversation. All right, we're not going to shun one side and accept one side. All right, we want to have the conversation with both sides. All right, so nobody no call nobody fool or dumb or dunce or nothing like that. Let's just have the conversation so that we can hear from everybody, because like I said, we want this conversation, at the end of it somebody can walk away and say, based on what I heard, I'm going to make a choice for myself. All right. Yeah, that is what we want. That is the reason why we're having this conversation right now. Yes, so I say, so as we said, the number is 876-420-3368 via WhatsApp. If you have your views, if you have your points, call in, join the conversation. Let me hear what you have to say. You understand what I say? And most specifically, we want to hear the factual reasons as to why you would take it. All right, if you have gotten some factual reasons as to why, Rush, big up yourself, as to why you would take it or why you wouldn't take it, that is what we want to talk about. All right, Carla, blessings, thanks for joining.
Hey, Unstoppable, how are you?
All is well, can't complain.
Yeah, I haven't taken it yet, and I know you know the type of job I do.
Yeah.
I have a cleaning company, but I haven't taken it yet. Reason being is because you can't get a straight answer to any of the information that they have. They can't give you any form of information based on it that is factual, that is true. You know what I'm saying? 1 minute it's something, the next minute it's something else. Every vaccine we've had, because you don't know, we're Caribbean people, most of us have tons of vaccination. Like, we've been vaccinated so many times to the point where when you come abroad, you have this long list of things on your vaccination paper, right? So, remember, those are just one vaccination each. Now you're going to have 3 different vaccinations. You get your first shot, you get your second shot, and now they're looking at a third shot, which is a booster shot. There is so many things coming with this thing. And then the government's not really telling you all the information that they have on it. So I think that's why a lot of people are scared. A lot of people don't want to take it because 1 minute it's something, then the next minute it's something else. And then now you're being forced and pushed into something that a lot of people don't want to do. Right? So I that's my opinion. I just don't have the facts yet. And I've been around so many people. I go everywhere. I'm a cleaner.
One of the things I said earlier when I started the live, I said if persons would get the answers they seek from the leaders, right? Meaning the government. A lot of persons asking the questions like, what is in it? We want to know what it's made of, right? If you get those answers, would you then make a decision to say, yeah, hear me, all right, then no, I feel comfortable to take it?
If it's a truthful answer, to be honest with you, where one set of government's not saying, if they're all on the same page, yes.
Right.
Yes. It would give me a little bit more confidence to say, yes, I'll take it. Because remember, like I said, all the other vaccines, everybody's on the same page. Every country's on the same page with all the other vaccines. This is the only vaccine that come out where nobody's on the same page. If you look at Cuba had to make their own vaccination, their own vaccine that is 95% more
effective.
More effective than what the United States have made. So if they can make something that is more effective, why is it that they're not sending it to other countries? First of all, nobody wants to take it, not even Jamaica. Jamaica not even take the vaccine from Cuba. And if theirs is more effective than anybody else's. What's the problem? Why is it this person have one, that person have one? It's a whole bunch of different things. Even this morning I was listening to a news clip, right, where they're saying, if you have taken the vaccine, you cannot give blood to save anybody that's been sick. You can't give blood here in Canada. Like, you can't. There's so many things. And again, with us here, they're telling you, you can't go into certain business places if you can't show your vaccination card. That's the rule that they're coming with out at the end, basically by the end of October. If you don't have a vaccination card to show, you can't enter certain places. Why is it that it's being pushed so hard? Why?
No.
And all the other vaccines haven't been pushed like that hard, you know what I mean?
Based on what you said just now, right? If and when that time comes where they are restricting you and saying, all right, you can't enter this establishment unless, at that point, will you take it?
Me? No. Because, again, like I said, there's still not enough information on it. So I still won't take it.
So, you won't take it?
I've lost clients. I've lost clients because they are you vaccinated? No, I'm not going to lie to my clients and say, oh, yes, I am. Because the first thing they're going to say, okay, they need to see your, which they're not supposed to ask for. But again, this is the type of job I do, and that's what I choose to go with, you know. So if they ask me for it and I don't have it, what am I going to say? You know what I mean? But I wouldn't take it because they're going to now lock you out. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
What do you think about the Prime Minister's statement that he made when he said there's going to come a time when the unvaccinated will be treated differently?
Yeah, that's because if you notice, most of the stuff that's happening overseas, that's the same thing Andrew's running with. If you look at the pattern, everything that's happening overseas, but he doesn't understand. With over here, we have DoorDash. We can get food. Right? We don't necessarily have to go inside a store to purchase food. We have Instacart. They can deliver our grocery right to the door. Jamaica, unfortunately, does not have these type of opportunities. Again, people have to live day to day at Jamaica. We don't necessarily have to live like that here. Not saying that some people are living paycheck to paycheck in Canada or U.S. or, you know what I mean, the UK. But we have a little bit more leniency and some more opportunity than it is in Jamaica. People are going to suffer. People already are suffer out there. And then you know you are wrong with everything that the United States is doing and you're not giving these. Because you have to remember now, Jamaicans were very strong-minded. And you see, once we say, we not do something, we just not do it. Unless God come, and sometimes even if it's him come to, we still not do it. You can't show them facts. They're not going to believe in you. You can't tell them the truth. They're not going to believe in you. You understand? So with him doing all of these things, I know he's going to be putting out people. People are going to start killing out people even worse than Jamaica. Oh, you're not vaccinated, bam, you get stabbed up. Oh, you're vaccinated, somebody shoot your killer. You understand what I'm saying? So it's again no segregation. Right. That's what they're doing over here in Canada. They're segregating people.
All right, big up yourself, Carla. Thanks for joining, Zane.
No problem. Later, man.
Yeah, man. All right, so that's another caller sharing her opinion right now. The phone line is open again, 876-420-3368. What I want, if there is a scientist on the stream, if there is a doctor on the stream, if somebody there who is well read as it relates to the vaccine and COVID, more you call me right now. If somebody who is well informed about this thing, more you call right now and tell us, give us some facts, give us some information where we can use to say, this is why I should take it. Give us some information where we can use to say, this is why I refuse to take it. I would appreciate that right now. See you, Carla, blessings. Thanks for joining.
Hello?
Good day.
Hey,
How you guys doing?
All is well. Talk to me.
Hey, good day. Hey, this is Susan.
All right, Susan. Talk up a little bit louder.
Can you hear me?
We can hear. I can hear you. Let me see if the people in my hear you. You can hear Susan, people. Susan, talk again. Let me see if them can hear you.
Okay. They hear me now?
All right, me could see if them. When I hear Susan, me I hear her, but Susan's voice kind of sound quietish. All right, good. Them I hear you. Talk to me, Susan. Talk to me.
Alright, my voice slow?
You're all right, man. Them I hear you. Go on.
Okay. So, me spent time in the military. Me do quite a few years. And me get right a few injections. Some of them to go over the military, go overseas. And some of them, you know, they claim you need them for different reasons. Some of them, they not tell you where you need them for. And, you know, you don't have the choice, not the matter, because at the end of the day, you sign contract, you know, so you go and you do what you need to do. And at that point, you come out of the military and this thing come up with this COVID situation, and it comes something that they claim you have to do because you have to protect this person and that person. And when it first come out, you feel say that's not something what me want to do. I don't want somebody else to make this decision for me. I want to make this decision for myself. And that's one of the reasons why me not jump to take something, me not jump to put something in my body when I'm on the phone.
All right. So you say you spent a few years in the military. You're talking about the past, or you're still in the military?
No, I'm coming out of the military.
Okay.
I'm coming out of the military, medical retire from the military, from kind of injured from the military.
Okay.
When I joined the military, was a healthy individual. Come out of the military with all kind of issues from the military.
Well, so the reason why I asked you is because I wanted to know if you're in the military, if it's mandatory that you have to take it. That's the reason why I wanted to ask you that.
Well, the way how the military works, when I join the military, you sign a contract to go into the military. And that's how them get you. You are considered military property when I join the military.
So basically you're saying that if them say if you take it, you have to take it.
Exactly. And then if you're not take it, you have to come home. That's how it works.
So Susan, the final question, because only people are trying to call. Final question. At what point or what would it take for you to say, you know what, I am going to take this thing now. I feel like I'm ready.
Right now at this point, I take it. But I take it because I come to a crossroad where you're there at a job and the job requires you to take it. So you either keep your job or you lose the job, you're out of a job. So you come to a crossroad where you keep your job or you lose your job. And that's another crossroad where you come, where you're in another situation where you come up. So yeah, after going back and forth, we look and see the amount of people who take it and the effect of the amount of persons where it affects versus the amount of people who take it and they don't have an effect. The adverse effect is not as much. So I went ahead and decided, okay, fine, I'll go ahead and take it and hope all of those category of anything.
So at the end of the day, you were forced to take it then, is basically what you're saying.
Again, I'm forced to take something that I don't want to take.
All right, Susan, thank you for joining the conversation. Big up, Zane.
All right.
All right, so now you hear what Susan say, and that is one of the things that I've been having a problem with, right? But you see, before me even move forward, let me tell you, that's one of the things that I have been having a problem with. I don't believe no company, no boss, no business player supposed to tell you, say, yeah, if you not take it, then you can't show up at work next week, right? I don't feel like that is the way it should be. You understand, Susan? You're not hang up yet. Oh, Susan never hung up, right? The phone line is open, 876-420-3368. I don't believe that is the way it should be. And this is what I've been saying. The government, who's supposed to be protecting the people, should put something in place where them settle any boss, any entity that says if you're not take it, then you can't come to work. The government should have something in place where say, here what? You don't have the power or the authority to do that. You understand? And if you do that, then you'll get in a problem. But see, the government not going to do that because the government want every help that they can get to force people to do it. Right? Now, if a man have to make a choice, that is not even a choice, because if somebody tell you, say, you have to either take it or don't come and work, that's not a choice, you know? That is not a choice. You understand what I say? So you are taking away the choice. Now bear in mind, people, I am still saying everybody should do what they want to do. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, then you should have that choice, is all I am saying. Right? And I don't feel like nobody should be forced. The time that they would take to force it on somebody, I think they should use that time to educate the people. I think that time they should use it to educate the people and give the people some information so that them can make a decision. Because at that point they have everything where them need for know to say, alright, I am going to or I am not going to. Carla, blessings. Thanks for joining the live.
Blessed. You?
Yeah, man, we are here. Go on, my general.
You hear me? So right now, the whole thing, I don't think the vaccine itself is the major issue right now. I think it's the way they're going about trying to give it to the public. I think, like, for example, the lady before Zane, she never explained fully to tell you, say, it is being forced in the military now, as we speak, which was last week, Friday. All U.S. military member should take the vaccine, not by choice, even if they're going to leave within the next 2 to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, so in the workplace now, Joe Biden said if them have 100 people at work for them or more, they're going to put a bill into place to make it mandatory for those persons to take the vaccine. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the problem is now. If they make this vaccine so quick and claim it is so important for our health, we should look back to further 2019, within December of 2019, when the virus within itself was spoken of. They did not know, according to them, that this virus would be so deadly, and they did not know of it. But the virus is called COVID-19 because they knew of the virus before 2018, and they expect the virus to become a pandemic within 2019, which it went against many plans. So, for persons like me, they will call us conspiracy theorists, but we do the work, put the work in. I am saddened for Jamaican people right now, my people, because you see, when them lock down the country, it's not a lockdown to protect, but a lockdown to force. Because if you put a lab rat in a place and you do a test and you starve that rat, and you let out that rat, it's going to act vicious. Prime Minister locked down the country. People don't have the resources to survive within that lockdown, because we know that Jamaica is kind of a struggling structure right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you release them, you're going to have all type of mindset for get food, get this done, get that. Chaos. When you create chaos, you find the opportunity to create what you call discipline of a nation. They're not going to bring martial law in like that, but they're trying to force these people to get the vaccine, us, without any proper explanation. So the problem is, why is the government forcing us to take a vaccine when there are a lot of other diseases? Where's cancer? Where's the diabetic people and we are dead? Where's people who are dead from all of those other diseases from 2019 to 2000, coming to 2001? You realize that there's less count of death reported by those other diseases. Everything they are related to COVID-19. Why? Let me explain to you. The underlying sickness, they don't report that, but they report fact to say it's COVID-19. It's not only a business, but it's also the place that is leading us into what we call, hold on, the New World Order. That system, that's what's going on now. So I can't play fool or try to beat around the bushes and talk about the vaccine. I am talking about the destruction that they are opening the gate to bring towards us. That's what we have to stand up for. So people are playing blind and I pretend. I am not a religious person, but in Revelation it has spoke of this day. I can tell you and I can show pictures I have proof, which I am going to inbox you after this, because many things should not be said on your program, because you have to keep your program up and running. Shut your program down for many things. But I will show you here in the US where they are locking down many stores because people refuse to take the vaccine. They say hospital is overpopulated because the nurses refuse to take the vaccine. Nothing like that. People want to work. Hospital now overflowed with no COVID patient. It's less doctors, less nurses. They don't want to report that. While the federal government is not mandated to take the vaccine under no circumstances. So where is this big problem?
Hola, you said the federal government is not mandated to take it?
No. You didn't know that?
Me never know. Well, me personally never know that.
People who are working
I didn't know that.
They're mandated. People who are work for the federal government in high position is not mandated.
Let me see if anybody else on the chat. Anybody else on the chat never know that? Because I would think that the people them who push it themselves would be the first ones to take it.
My friend,
I would have think that.
Fauci is not vaccinated. Just think of that. Dr. Fauci is not vaccinated. Not vaccinated, brother, man. That's why I saw a Jamaican personnel went on her program and she had put Jamaica again in classism by discriminating people with their medical decision. And she used her platform to behave in a certain way where I saw persons was cheering her on. And when the way she bring about her message, she did a talk like she come from the ghetto and blah. I know politicians and I know puppets. If you speak a certain way, you know you're speaking to a different class of people. Just like when they go into certain area, they try to speak like ghetto people. Refer to ghetto people, say I try to get the message across.
No, see, hold on, my brother. Hold on. To the persons that say need to prove it. Remember the man said earlier that certain things him can't say on the live. Remember, come on, you don't understand how social media work. You see, them give us these platforms so that we can use it, but we not own it. If certain things is said on this live out of the blue, you will just see the live just cut off and all my whole page disappear. So now if you understand why the man a hold back on certain things and now say certain things. You understand what I say? We have to be very careful what is said on these platforms, because remember now, if you post certain things and them feel like them no want it out, them are going to just remove it from your platform. And next thing, if it's too serious, them delete your whole account. You understand? So continue, my boss.
See them censor Nicki Minaj. Just that's a simplest example. You understand what I'm saying? So What I'm saying is this, because when them said to prove if them said Dr. Fauci saying take the vaccine, there is no vaccine that Dr. Fauci had took. One person in particular, again, there's certain things I may have to try to sense on myself and saying certain things I try to work back, but big sense out of nonsense. A person who is within the field of medicine said to me, I said, are you vaccinated? That person is my doctor. Person looked at me and said, why you ask? I said, just curious because I want to know about it. He said, no. I said, why? He said, why should I get the vaccine? The vaccine doesn't prevent you from catching the virus. And the vaccine doesn't guarantee you won't catch it or spread it. Right? But the vaccine is guaranteed to have side effects that can affect you 2 years from taking this vaccine. So most persons think they will be seeing these side effects. No. Any vaccine with them tell about as Jamaicans, so we have to take vaccine and we have to take injection for come up foreign and all of these things. I can tell that radio personnel say when I was coming to America, being filed for, I only got one injection because I was properly vaccinated with good vaccine that will last a lifetime. Dr. Fauci, I can fact check him on this. He says vaccine don't last forever. That's a lie. Because the vaccine that we got in Jamaica growing up back in the days were vaccine that was tested years prior to us receiving those vaccines.
All right, hear this now.
This vaccine is within its trial phase.
All right, on the point where you make a while ago, about getting vaccinated to go to America. I never got any vaccination for go to America. You understand what I say? I got my vaccines from I was a child. You understand? And when I was traveling, I never need no vaccine. I never get no pharma shot for go to America. Now, when I'm traveling to other countries that is prone to diseases like Africa, Cuba, Colombia, places like those. Right. There are vaccines that you have to get to visit these other countries where have outbreaks. Right? I've gotten those. Understand what I say? But as far as to go to the whole America thing, you say a while ago, I've never gotten a shot to go to America.
Well, yeah, I came up on a filing and they said I had to do a medical when I went there. And I knew I did not need any shots, but they refused to let me out without a shot. So, they gave me one. But I forgot the name of that shot. But I got one shot to come here. I did not get that bag of injection. From I'm living here, I've never taken the flu shot. I have no person who take that flu shot and became sick after that flu shot. What I'm saying is, again, I have to be careful on your life. There are things that we need to pay more attention to and stop listening to what government is saying, because it seems like we forgot who is the government. We the people, we are the government. We have the last say, and if they still can control some, as that radio personnel said, shouldn't have no time to argue with nobody with no vaccine and debate. But that was there. You're making that disclosure before you make a point. Just leave an error within that subject, because now when she says that means you're going to speak what you think and not give a person a chance or a platform like you're doing now to debate the subject, which I will really love to debate this subject on her platform, and she will bring any doctor there and I will bring proven facts, because this is it. She don't know you have persons who independently vow and dedicate themselves to make sure that they are well read and educated on this topic. I may not be a doctor, but a doctor have to go through his proper teachings, and I'm going through my proper studies to find out that this here is not what they say it is, because it cannot prevent, it cannot help. So how is it that you are stopping people from living their daily life? The mask within it itself.
You know something, my brother? We are going to keep it sharp, but you know more you do for me? Because I'm looking in the comments and I see a lot of people still saying we want facts. So here what more you do. Don't even worry about the platform. We just delete the live afterwards. Give me some factual information.
First and foremost, facts. Since they want facts, I am close to two separate individuals who took two different doses of the vaccine. These are healthy individuals before taking the vaccine. no form of problem or health issues. The vaccine P and the vaccine J, right? 2 different doses of the vaccine. After taking the vaccine, that person did not contract the virus until that person took the vaccine. They said that person contracted the virus. After that person went in to the hospital and they said that person has the virus, they say you have to come back for the second dose of the vaccine. Within refusing to for the second dose of that vaccine, that person was bribed. And the last time I checked, it's a crime to bribe a person. So whether it is for medical purpose or under any circumstances, how can you bribe me for my own health?
When
right?
I said bribe, explain.
I am the outsider within this subject. And they said, are you going to take the vaccine? I said, no. They said, why not? I said, I'm a healthy person. They said, but what if you contract the virus? Well, I said, my body immune system is built to fight any and every disease there is. And as long as I know how to control my intake, the things that I consume as food, then my immune system will do the work. I need no foreign substance in my body that it is not properly proven to be effective. That is why it is said by the CDC it is going through a trial phase. Let's read the fine print in all these medicines that they are giving us. If it is going through the trial phase, who is the test subject of this medicine? Those are the persons they are forcing to be vaccinated. There is facts. Let's read now. There's at least 5 different brand of vaccine from the same company going under the same name. The one you get today is not the one you get tomorrow. There's no such thing as a booster. These are different vaccines from the same company being tested. That's the simple thing right there. Go and read it and let them fact check you, because they will stop your life and they will ban a person from saying certain things. The truth of the fact is persons are getting sick and dying from the vaccine. Because I lost the second friend. So I'm speaking from a hurt place right now. This is not a question. Affects persons close, and people cannot speak because they censor us from speaking, and they will fact check you and say no, and the media will be running in and everybody running in. Whereas there is proof that the vaccine takes life before COVID. But Jamaican people, as if the government is not the one who educates you. Knowledge is power. And once you can, listen man, there's going to be judgment. I saw a video on your page, and I had to make a call about that video. Take the vaccine and the water. How is it that you care for a person in a country when you are going to hold them hostage?
Yeah.
And everyone feel as if you're going to see the result of this vaccine now. Each person's body builds different. Some people are allergic to peanut. The other person can eat peanut. Are we stupid or are we that dumb? We don't know the things that they are using to make these vaccines. That's the question. Really? What is it that you are forcing us to take? Why is this vaccine more important than the search for cancer, the cure for cancer? It's really a pandemic, my brother. Ask yourself that question. Are we really living through a pandemic?
No, Slaggity, him no want nobody fact check him, you know. He's saying the minute you start to talk out, you're gonna see them come and talk about fact check, and then them debunk your findings. You understand? Because that is what they do. If you post something right now and a couple minutes later you're gonna say fact check, it has been proven fake or false or all when are the truth. You know, and you know one of the questions of me always ask, who fact check the fact checkers?
Listen,
that's one of my questions, you know.
When the truth comes out.
My brother, big up yourself. Thanks for calling, Zane.
Alright.
Bless
Much
up.
respect.
Caller, you're live. Talk to it.
Yes, my general.
Blessings.
So, a lot of things is going on here, and people don't really notice. Whether you want to take a vaccine or not, don't make that separate you as a people. You understand what I say?
True.
Some people drink Heineken and some people drink rum. At the first situation, I see where somebody I try to say, you're supposed to drink Heineken. And if you don't do it, you're going to get treated one certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I say? The fact of the matter is the vaccine is in its experimental stages. That's a fact. Everybody are talking about fact. Another fact is that this vaccine was made.
No, hold on, my brother. Hold on, my brother. Make we emphasize that one day. You said that's a fact. Say it again. Make who not hear it.
Yes. These vaccines were made faster, right, than any other vaccine in the history of vaccines.
So it is. So it is in its.
Say that again.
So it's in its what? Experimental stage, right?
Experimental stages.
All right. So for all I would say, no want facts right there. So we get facts. Go on again, my brother.
All right. So we get facts. Here's another fact. This was a report coming out of Israel in February 2021, right? This is a paper. It's REUTERS. That's the name of the paper. And you can go look up the paper and look for the paper itself where them put out. The report says, this is the headline: Israel study finds Pfizer vaccine 99% effective against COVID-19. Now, months after, CNBC Health and Science, this was August, got them at about facts, you know. This was August, July 23rd after February 2001. It says, Israel says that COVID-19 vaccines is just 39% effective as Delta spreads, but prevents severe illness. My question to the people when I talk about facts, this no reason no eyebrow. How comes you go from 95% effectiveness in a February, right, to July it reached 39% effectiveness? You see, we are talking about critical thinking now. You understand what I say? The fact of the matter is the people them where in the science field and the politician them don't really know like how we don't really know. And this is a proof that they don't really know because what? They're in the experimental stages. So we don't need to kick up yourself and kill up yourself. If you want to take a vaccine, go and take it. I will tell you this, that you are playing Russian roulette with your life because you simply don't know. You don't know if they're going to be 2 years from now, 3 years from now, or 4 years from now. And as the caller before said, I know people where them take the vaccine and then balls up. I know man take a vaccine and then dead. I know people take a vaccine and then cripple. I now say everybody will take it that I got at me, and I now say every vaccine that will be the result in my general. But as I said, there is enough evidence out there for people to be reluctant. Now, more people to remember this. If this thing was so dangerous, right? This COVID-19 vaccine was so dangerous and the government believe it. You see what happened to Fly Green the other day would not have happened. They would not be in a space where them a party and no mask and just a gallivant and a go on. So, you know why them a do that? Because in themselves, in my opinion, based off a critical thinking, them know that this thing is not as dangerous as them want to believe it is. You feel what I say? You can imagine if the thing did come and just kill people the real way. Nobody would not do that, me G. I'm going to tell you this straight. Since this whole lockdown thing from last year till now, party I keep everywhere in Jamaica, especially in Linstead. And nobody now wearing a mask. All of them people are supposed to contract COVID already. And them not dead. Most of them not dead. So what go on? What the numbers do not support. This is another fact. The numbers do not support a lockdown. More people are dead from crime than COVID. Period. All around the world, as a matter of fact. So if they want to use the lockdown for stop crime, would I support it? You feel what I say? If they want to use the curfew to stop crime, would I support it? This is another fact. COVID now walk a night alone. Where the curfew for? You understand? More people are moving around in the daytime. Who is in these supermarkets and these business places, right? That is, which police stand up in front of a supermarket and monitor how much people go in that supermarket? Who a monitor say, yeah, they're 6 feet apart. Why taxis still are running and 4 and 5 people still in there? You understand what I say? People forget, you know. Alright, the other thing, when they just start out, them say, you have to wear like a face shield. So that means you can't catch it all in your eye, because they say you don't rub your eye, you know. You have to keep your hand off of your face. But we forgot to say, this is another fact. Human nature has errors with all ways I go do it when them say we know to do. So you find say we are touch the mass too much and we are rub with ice and way. Oh, the people them now just drop out me G. How much people in Jamaica get vaccinated? Last time I hear the percentage was under 10%. Then everybody just now drop down dead. From last year till now. You see, if people them are vaccinated again, me just say you have to understand about and look into the thing. Look what the man them say and look on the actions. The government official them especially, them are leader down. Them actions don't correlate with what them say. And it's clear to me because I have personally tagged the Prime Minister in several studies. There's a study out of Israel. People pay attention to Israel because I want the most vaccinated country in the world. There's a study in Israel and Fauci did. I do a video on my YouTube channel about this. You have one brother when he anomaly on YouTube, AN0, 0 there, so anomaly. It's like a O, it's a 0. Just you can look him up. Him exposed the study to me, right? And he exposed when Fauci did actually speak about it because somebody they asked him about it, I think, by CNN. And the man said, the new study out of Israel is saying that people that are, them grow a natural immunity to the virus, them actually have a stronger resistance to not just the COVID, but also the variants. And Fauci could not say that that was not a fact. The only thing he said is that we don't know how long natural immunity is going to last. People want to tell me say that makes sense. What do you mean by you don't know how long natural immunity is going to last? Natural immunity, a natural thing, it's going to last forever. I don't understand how that the question they even come up, but that was his only rebuttal to the fact that in Israel this study was done. And it's not only Israel, other country. I don't because I can't remember the names of the other country where I do the same study and I find out say natural immunity actually 13% to 6% stronger than just the vaccine itself. Remember, study also come out to show say not only can you catch the virus when you take the vaccine, but you can spread it. And because the way how viruses work, because you have the vaccine to teach your body how to deal with this particular virus, you're now susceptible to the new variant. Variants when they're out there, your body is going to become like a big party, a national stadium of variants just having fun. And we don't know what that can mutate to, right? So me I say, people, me not telling you what to do. These are the only things I say on my channel. That this are going to be deleted. So I can't say this. These are the only things I say on my channel on YouTube. I'm credit to you, Unstoppable TV. I react to a couple of video them. Your stuff is very informative. I like how you do your thing, my general. Big up. See? But this is what I said. I say, yo, give the people them a chance. You see, because this thing is in its experimental stages, if I may get emotional right now, if you, the parents want to try and take a thing and put your life at risk, leave the people them alone. You understand what I say? Because we don't know what this is going to do. Give the people them a chance to live. Because the studies where they out there show say, kids don't really have no issue with COVID. Them immune system so strong. Right? Them good, me G. Them actually good. You feel me I say? So when I leave the people them alone, me I beg you please don't. The people them are listening to me right now. Just leave the kids them out of it. You hear me? I tell you, just leave you them. You understand? They not deserve to be an experiment. Or be a part of an experiment. Them are the future.
Real.
If you want to willingly become an experiment, just you do that. But leave, just don't. I've seen testimonies from parents of them youth, a teenager in America. Right? And them things are public knowledge are just because they not come on news still in my G.
Yeah, certain things. That are the question we may have too. Why is it that the media is not bringing the information, the things them where actually are happen. Them only are bring where the government say bring. Them not actually show where are gone. And that are the part where make people in doubt too. You see what I say? Like if you have to cover one side, cover everything.
But guess what? That in itself, we don't need to say nothing more. That the question there tell we everything what we need to know. You understand me? I say,
alright, watch out. Watch out, my brother.
That's why I say, not just look for what them I say, look for what they actually do.
Real.
Actions don't correlate with what them I say. Alright, last thing me I go say to you. Again, for sure, say this thing not really as serious as them want if you believe. The Prime Minister last year, me did with him, you know. Me nah lie, he's not a political person, me not vote, you know. Right? So he's a neutral, and me look at the thing from a neutral perspective. And believe it or not, I am not an anti-vax. You understand? Me read up all about vaccines and viruses. Last year, when I get locked down, brother, I just stay on my yard and on my computer and I read. You feel me I say? I just read, bro. You understand? So, me's not an expert, but me I read. And my thing is, when the thing did just start, all the government they have to do a lockdown, the whole of the port, them, nothing coming in. All the virus are going to reach Jamaica. If that they happen.
Real.
He could do it for long enough.
Yeah.
Right? But he could do that. Boom,
it could have been controlled. The spread could have been controlled.
Yeah, man. Secondly, this was the big thing for me. This show me say, yo, this are just utter rubbish. When the man called the election, me charge up a ground, me general, me say, hold on. An election go against every single COVID-19 protocol.
Every single one.
Oh, the man called the election. Reggie, me see people on the road, I drive, tense man in a one little car, they head out, shower, power. You understand what I say? Oh, into that.
Real.
You understand what I deal with? And people need to look on that. How is it that Mocha Fest keep? Look on Mocha Fest. Look how much people are there, they are party at a Galavant. No mass if this thing was so serious and just a kill people. Right? These are just my critical thing in my opinion, this, you know.
Yeah.
You know really that serious, me G. To me, I just want flu, and if some people catch it, then they will dead still because they have underlying condition. And it's a respiratory problem. So the main thing when I say to people is this, and me I talk to myself right now because me definitely need to do better. We have to take personal care of ourselves better. We have to exercise, right?
No, alright, hold on, my brother. No, Kizzy, I know Jamaica alone call election, you know. Other countries call election too, but that only prove the point even more. That what the brother I said that proved the point even more because I've seen other countries call election too. Because this is not only about Jamaica, we're talking about in general, right?
Right.
If this thing, as him said, is as serious, and we're not saying it not serious, because I honestly feel like it is there, right? But me understand what the general has said. The general has said, them calling elections, right, in a time like this goes against the COVID protocols what them put in place. You understand what I say? And that is what he is saying. The point what the man has said is when them call election, and you see everybody go out and do them rally and everybody gather up and everybody mingle and mix and mingle and shout power, shower, whatever country we call election. Everybody mix and mingle. And there is no police to say, hey, 6 feet apart. No, none of that. No go on election day or in any one of the rallies. So we understand what I must say. It's not about Jamaica specifically. See? Go on, my brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's just some basic common sense in my G. And just basic common sense. If you really feel threatened by this virus or the election, everybody else, because everybody else are doing it.
Alright.
So we have to follow.
Alright, on that note, see, me see a country keep them election just I think about last week or a week before last. See? And when me watch them election, me watch them election on the internet, and when I was watching them election, my brother, the person who win and became Prime Minister, when the man win, the man just start hug up everybody. Nobody no member fist bump again or elbow dap. Everybody start get hug. A big hug and embrace. And me I look on the video and me I say, hold on there. So, COVID not about again. Want to social distance. And we are talking about everybody close in proximity, you know. Everybody a hug up and me I say, watch ya. Let that had been regular citizens now and see how much people gone to jail. Yes, what I say? So those are the things where we look upon. Those are the things where we are wondering. So hold on, man. So the law is only being enforced upon regular citizens. It not go for politicians, them and it not go for police. You get what I say? The law, the COVID law, because watch out, this is a whole other topic now, but we are going to touch it a little bit for a second. Look on the Floyd Brown situation. The Floyd, whatever his name situation. See it? Where me get Floyd Brown from? The Floyd Green situation. See it? Look on his situation. Look on the people them who get arrested for breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act. See it? And get charged for it. Hold on there. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me give you no facts, not fiction. Hold on. Let me give you no facts. More I give you no factual. Hold on there. More I give you no factual. Because I just this morning I read it. Hold on. Alright. More I see it. More I give it to no factual. So I look for it. Because when me read it this morning, I say, no man, this simply means this thing you not go for. This thing you not go for regular citizens. See it? This thing you not go for regular citizens. It only go for... Hold on there. It look like me can't even find the article star. No man. Me need to find it, Baxter. Alright, hold on. Alright. Listen this now. This was in 2021. See it? Over 300 prosecuted and warned for breaches over the DRMA. See it? Over 300 persons prosecuted. Now, this is not the article when I read this morning. The other article when I read was talking about persons charged in the thousands. This one here from March. The one I read this morning was more recent. See it? And people, listen to me. In the article, it said that the Prime Minister rolled back the police or stopped the police from warning people. You get what I say? Stop the police from warning people. So if them see you without a mask, them not give you a warning no more. Them just lock you up. Seeing?
Yes.
Them just lock you up. And when he did that, the cases, more people get charged. You see what I say? More people got charged after them do that. Now, alright, see it, I'm find it. Nice. More I give it to you, factual. I find it. Let me read it for you now. 18,000. You not hear me? My brother, you hear me?
Yeah.
18,000 charged for COVID breaches. People who not hear me I say? 18,000 Jamaicans charged for breach of DRMA. I don't know, small number that you know, people. 18,000. Now let me give you the article now. More than 18,000 persons have been charged with various breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act, which is the main piece of legislation being used in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Data provided by the police, which covers the period March 2020 to September 2021, shows that the vast majority of persons prosecuted, 14,752, were charged for breaching curfew orders. You hear that? 14,752 persons were charged for breaching curfew orders. See? Now listen to this now. The data shows that there have been 465 party-related arrests, 116 for operating bars, 171 for breaches of the gathering rule, 43 for not observing social distancing. Now, my brother, let me stop this off for a minute. So you charge 43 people, just because them probably they're too close in proximity, when you could have just said, "Ewa, you can step to the side a little bit, they're too close." Why could that not have been done? Why could the police not just say, "Hey, they're too close, separate"? See? But here why? 43 for not observing social distancing and 14 for breach of home quarantine. See? Now listen to why the police didn't do it now. Parliament in April amended the DRMA to remove the requirement for police to give warnings before proceeding to make an arrest. Wanna hear that? Wanna hear that, people? Parliament amended the rule so that police did not have to give a warning before making arrest. Now, if that is not a load of bullcrap, then what is?
What is? No, you said 18,000, right?
18,000, my brother. 18. This is what the article says.
We're going to calculate it figure. Breaches of these are like $50,000 per average. And the charge, right? You spend some months in a jail. 18,000 times 50,000 is $900 million. You hear me say a while ago? 900 million Jamaican dollars. People, this to me is more about attacking human rights and also making a lot of money while doing it. Let me say this. I have a video where I'm going to send your brother, I'm going to send him a link to a video. I posted it on my YouTube channel and them strike me.
You have to be careful of that. You have to be careful of that.
If you don't get a chance, to upload, brother. And make sure I put out my disclaimer on the video that the views of the individual speaking is not necessarily my own.
No, man, then we strike your same way, man. You should have known better than that, but.
Me does I report it. Now, it was a funeral director in the UK that came out and speak about his experience with the numbers them. Because you know, say, if you people are not dead like that, and these alarming numbers are from COVID, the funeral homes, them are going to make more money. Period. You understand what I say? And I think we know what he said.
Me know.
I think we know what he said. After watching that video, if anybody else here in a contact with you and they want to watch it, after watching that video, are you look into that man eye? Tell me, say man make that up. And then, why would he make it up? You understand what I say?
You know, I think me see that video the way you talk about, you know. I think me see that video the way you talk about, you know. I think me see it.
Let me tell you what the man name. What are they? Cause me have it on the computer right now. Milton Keynes Family Funeral Services. Alright, the number did there on the video. You can call him, email him. Hopefully he's still alive. The man claimed that he was offered £85,000 by some Russian group to keep quiet and, you know? So, him saying that the video say, if him dead, I saw, but, you know, him have to really make people them know because him feel like he couldn't live with himself if he never did do that. To where him see a go on and always explain in the video. People are going to say a conspiracy, some people are going to have all type of thing to say, but my thing is, whatever you want to think, watch the video. And then I say, watch the video, watch it with an open mind. Yeah, watch it with an open mind. Because for me, still, even with that idea, because I know say it a flow through a long time, say, you know, them a push the numbers, them in the hospital, and everybody had just COVID. Even with those pushing off the numbers, my people, only, I think a less than 2% of the world population has died from this thing.
Alright,
Only 2%.
stick up in right there, sir.
Less than 5. Let's say less than 5.
Alright, stick up in right there, sir. Cause me da wait for you to finish so that I could get to this. But since you go there, cause me done pull up this, you know. Alright. Facts. India. Let's talk about India right now. India is one of the leading countries where most of the population is vaccinated. You didn't know that, my brother?
Say that again?
India is one of the top countries where most of the population is vaccinated, fully vaccinated. See?
Right,
I think it's India and the U.S. in it, and there is another country. Top 3 countries. India is one of them. Now listen to this. COVID vaccine. India gives 20 million jobs in one day. You hear that, my brother?
Say that again?
In India, they gave 20 million vaccines in one day.
Whoa.
See it?
Whoa.
20 million in one day. Now, guess what happened? When I scroll a little more, when I push past some of the rubble and read a part of your phone up. More than half of India's eligible population, which is 594 million people, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. You hear that, my people? You hear that, my brother?
Right.
Let me read it again for you here. Thank you, China. Thank you. Yeah, China is the third one. More than half of India's eligible population, 594 million people, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Let me push past the rubble and make you hear the rest. India has reported more than 33 million cases. See? Second to the United States. I want to listen, you know. Second to the United States. And has reported 444,000 deaths. Now my question to that is this. How much are the 444,000 they vaccinated? Because if more than half of them population fully vaccinated or has at least taken them first dose, and 440,000 dead, how many of those deaths have been vaccinated is my question. What do you think?
Why? I don't know, my thing is, I see somebody in the chat say 2% is a lot of deaths. Let us compare the other cancer. Let us compare cancer deaths. Let us compare diabetes. Let us compare all the major illnesses and do the percentage as to how many people are dying on a yearly basis from those. And I guarantee you that the percentage is going to be higher globally than 2%. Why is it that there were no measures put in place to end those conditions? You know why? This is a business. People, please use critical thinking. Big pharma and these people, they make money off you when you're sick because you buy their drugs. If you start to eat healthy, why would they promote you eating healthy? Why would they tell you, stop eating meat, go vegan? It's actually the best way to live and live a healthy lifestyle. Exercise 2-3 times a day, if you can, 1 time a day for a half an hour. You know what I mean? Like, why would they tell you all the things to do to not get sick? That does not help their business. It's like 1, 2, 3 ABC. You feel me, I say? And this is why they are pushing just the vaccine, and them not tell about no other alternative. And would I encourage everybody, the last live with Tana Stevenson do, I actually do one video for you to put on my channel on YouTube. But to go over to Tana Stevenson and listen to the reasoning there.
Them not to do it, because right now as me done talk, brother, me already have the video queued up for post. The same live where you talk about, me have it queued up. Me already have it queued up for post. And just because me do the live stream and why the video then already out. But me don't have it edited and everything.
Yo, Chano, Virgin, the reasoning was so, it come like one healthy meal on a Sunday, brother.
You see, alright.
Satisfying.
Let me show you something. And this is me talking facts now. See? This is facts. The fact is, people need information. The fact is, nobody wants to take something that them don't know or what. The fact is, they are acting shady and dodgy. That a fact.
Yes.
You understand what I say?
Yes.
If them would simply stop acting shady, stop acting dodgy, and just simply give people the answers, more people will be inclined to say, yo, I'm willing to take it. You see what I say? More people will be willing. But simply because they are acting shady and them now give people information, that is why so much people refusing it. Now, you touched upon a point earlier when you said, I don't know if you was the first caller who talked about the take the vaccine and you get water situation where the health minister say. That right there is a bunch of bullying, brother. That right there is a bunch of bullying, because how you if it look upon your citizens and say, if you want water, take the vaccine. See it? That is wrong. That is wrong on all levels. You see what me I say?
Yeah.
And if, me I go tell you no something, you know. Me I go tell you no something, man. Me no want to preach. You know what? Me leave that alone. But you say something, brother. Go on.
Yeah, when I say, just to add to your point where that is concerned, that was a moment in time for Jamaican people realize what these people think of you. How much them value the citizens of their country to the point that he could make a statement like that. He should have resigned immediately, in my opinion. He should have been kicked out immediately for those comments. You're telling me that we the people, having water for drinking, clean water for drinking, a part of the government responsibility,
But
you
brother,
should know that. Road, water, you cannot put like a, what do you call it? Like a additive, like you try to say, alright, you only get it if you do this. No, my general, we're supposed to get clean water. What you talk about? We're supposed to get water in our pipe. I don't understand.
Let me say this.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Let me say this, my general. You see, if the government of Jamaica would simply put half of the emphasis them put into promoting this vaccine into the betterment of the Jamaica people. You know, say Jamaica would have been way better if them they just put half of it in there. If them, alright, let's look at the water situation. There are still parts of Jamaica where they have no running water. If the government would say, yo, half of that energy we are put into promoting this vaccine and going around and visiting people and trying to promote the vaccine and having vaccine bus a drive round and I tell people say come get if they would take half of that energy there and say, yeah, me I gonna make sure say that community they get water next month. Me I gonna make sure say the next community over there say get water next month. You think him could ever lose election again, my brother? Think about it. Simple thing, you know. If him do that, people would have say, yo, we can see what him a do. You understand what I say? If them would see, and people want to understand, this is not me putting down the Prime Minister, because I don't care about no politician. I don't want nobody feel like say Unstoppable is talking against the PM, because that is not what I'm doing. I am simply saying that if them would simply channel the same energy into the betterment of the Jamaican people, Jamaica would have better. See it? Jamaica would have better try Brown say even the roads are not true. You understand what I say? But them not care about none of that. They want put more. Alright. If them the channel the same energy are into fixing crime, no crime wouldn't there Jamaica. If them channel that same energy are into solving crime, no crime wouldn't there Jamaica.
Want to touch upon this. Muta, the step in the razor, I think this Thursday gone. Me I listening on YouTube. I have a channel on YouTube where I put them on, right? The man said the Prime Minister was at a multilateral summit, and a former police chief, I think in New York, one of the most crime polluted place on the place them there. The man actually carried down the thing to a lower level, and the man give the Prime Minister advice on how to do the same here in Jamaica. And the man basically say you have to allocate more funds into that sector because intelligence is the only way to stop criminals and crime. And you know what was the Prime Minister's response? Putting more money into crime, other sectors would suffer. People were there in the chat, me I look on the chat right now, want to tell me so that makes sense. Somebody make that response that makes sense to me. Please, me I beg you. What is more important? The lives and well-being of Jamaican people. Crime affects so much other sectors. Getting rid of crime are going to make the economy
better. Yeah.
It's going to make more investors come here.
Exactly.
It's going to make more people come here, come visit because they feel safer. You understand what I say? How can our Prime Minister and leader make a statement like that? It is unforgivable. And I am not PNP or JLP. I don't business with none of them. I don't, listen me, I don't like politics with general. You understand what I say? I don't like politician. That's why I try to tell them, say, listen what they must say and look on their actions. When me hear Muta say that my jaw drop a ground, me G, me couldn't believe.
Real.
Oh, that makes sense. Somebody else make it make sense to me. Please, me I beg you no.
No.
Something like wrong with me, you know.
But me I go show you something. And this is something I've been thinking. I mean, no one of me alone think about this. Let me show you something, my brother. A lot of people don't like lockdown. Me not like a lockdown idea neither. But you know, say lockdown can be used for good, right? Me I go tell you now why I say so. You see, if them did say, alright, yeah what? We are gonna do some clean up lockdown. And by clean up lockdown, me I talk about clean up the gun them and clean up the criminal them. That lockdown them, I would have been for it, you know. Me don't know if you understand what I mean, no, brother. Me break it down for you. You see, if the Prime Minister did say, here what? The crime rate in our country is too much. It'll get out of hand. You hear me? We are going to do an island-wide lockdown. See it? And lock down the whole country and search for the gun them, search for the criminal them, search for the people them who actually need to be found. Brother, that would have make a major difference, you know.
You know that would work if they don't say it, they just do it.
But what? No.
How many times have,
no, see, we're not.
How many times have we seen the man come and tell the criminal
no.
plans for news?
No, but listen what me I say, no, we're not talking about curfew, you know. Me know why you get me wrong, you know. Me not talking about curfew, you know. Say curfew different.
Yeah.
See it? Curfew different.
But me I say, the only way that plan, me not say, well, you say no work, not go work, you know. Me I say the only way the plan would have work, as if them don't say it to nobody.
No, them have to do it. No, them have to tell people, because you see, if them not tell people, it would be inhumane, because remember, people are going to lock down in a house without food and all of them things, so them have to tell people, right? But what I am saying is this. You can tell the criminal them in a brother, say, yo, we are going to have a 3-day lockdown, you know, but yo, do not tell them why you're having the lockdown. You understand what I say? Because if you tell them, say, yo, we are going to have a lockdown so that criminals can be found. No, you not announce why you do it. You just announce a lockdown for the country. You see me I say, meanwhile the criminal them are go lock up in them house and clean them gun and say, boy man can't go to road, go kill nobody to the star. You see him and I shine up him gun and I know say that is the reason for the lockdown. You see me I say? So the police now and the army come out in full force on the lockdown. See it? Now I do understand before anybody comment and say, well, unstoppable, it's against the law for the police or the army raid your house or way. I do know that. I know somebody I go come and comment that. But listen what I'm saying now. The police have a thing named intelligence, where they act on intelligence. I want to understand this. Nobody feel like say the police no know which part them criminal are there and which part them hang out and who are the criminal. Them. I want to understand that. Yeah? I want to understand that. So, when them decide say them are going to do this, the police should act on intelligence and say, alright then, because remember now we know, if there is a lockdown and nobody not even dog no for the on the road, which part the gunman are going to run go hide? He can't hide in a crowd, he can't hide in a plain sight because anything move you are going to get spot. So, when them decide say them are going to lock down the whole country and the police act on intelligence and say, alright, we are go for them have to stay one place, then can't move and hide. So the police them go there and find them. And that is how I would agree with them with the lockdown. The lockdown can't work, brother, to solve crime. You see me? Watch ya. Them have lockdown what day. In the no movement day, 18 people get killed. In a one weekend. How that happen? On no movement day, 18 people get killed. How that happen?
Yeah, that was crazy.
See? That is what me not understand. You understand what me I say? So, it's like the focus is more, okay, focus on COVID, make sure nobody is on the road when they're not supposed to, or else they're breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act. But if you hear some gunshot fire down the road, no business about that. That's how me feel. You see what me I say? That's how me feel like. Like crime doesn't matter anymore. And that should not be the case. And I do know the PM is going to say.
Hold on there. Natty shine, say me just tired. Boy, Natty, you express the feelings of many of us.
Every Jamaican. Every Jamaican.
We're just tired. We're tired of government. We're tired of them curfew. We're tired of them themselves. We're tired.
Brother, you see, the as me say, the lockdown can be used to solve crime, but them just now implement the lockdown in the right way.
I've said that several times from my reasoning with people. I say, listen, if this lockdown was slowing down crime, I would be all for it. Lock down the country for 5 months and just find them criminal origin. I tell you.
Try suppose you say, my brother, lockdown I go on a Augustown and be a shooting. You see it? That's what I say, because them now focus on the right thing. Them have the lockdown. You see, but we not talk about curfew. Curfew is a different thing. Curfew is a different thing. Because watch ya, this is what make sense to me. You have curfew in our communities, my brother. See it? And this is something when I see me now telling about years say. You have curfew in our communities where soldiers have curfew and the soldiers them sit down and sleep on the corner. See it? The soldiers them sit down and sleep on the corner. So what's the point of curfew?
I don't know.
Yes, I say. Yo, I know.
I don't know, brother. But my message, main message is we have to unite people. We have to take some personal responsibility for the state of the country. And just to express, me tired of two party them. I'm so over PNP and JLP, it's ridiculous. I don't see any of them being different or better. You know, when one come in and blame the other one, say after them fault why this stay so and that's why they can't do this. And then we the people, I blame us more because we buy into those narratives and spread them. Same program we Mota have Thursday, one lady when I try to convince Mota say I just 1.5 year or 1 year now. So, you know, if we give Andrew a chance and because of PMP why the crime stay so. But remember when him did say crime will go down when he's running. And a PNP are running country, brother.
Me make
has multiplied.
an announcement.
You see, people are trying to absolve these members of parliament of their responsibility where they want to get thousands of tax dollars to do a certain job, and we are trying to absolve them and make excuses for them. If we the people keep making excuses for them, they will never perform the way that they should.
Let me make an announcement, my general. Let me make an announcement. The other day, I did a video. May I get an echo? You listen to me on another device or something?
Me mute my side because more hear you good.
Alright. The other day, I posted a video. I'm going to make a statement in the video where I said, Jamaicans, and when I say Jamaicans, I know Jamaica alone do it, you know. Other countries do it too. But we are talking about Jamaica now. So I'm going to say Jamaicans has this stuck mentality where them say, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother voted for XYZ party, so that's the reason why I vote for XYZ party. And them don't have a valid reason as to why them a vote other than that, you know. Seeing? And them stick with that. And it no matter whether the party they are make them dead for hungry for years in and years out, them still a vote for that specific party and not change. You understand? And that is the problem in a Jamaica. That are the problem right there, so because you keep putting in the same worthless no good party over and over and over again. Now watch ya. Just this morning I was having a conversation with somebody and I said Jamaica now has the U.I.C. Now, is the U.I.C. any different? Honestly, we just have to go try them to find out. I don't know personally, but we just have to go try them to find out. And me I tell everybody right now who they are, well under my boss, me so get run, but me just want to get this out. Me I tell everybody who they are right now to go check out the U.I.C. website and learn more about the U.I.C. Go over to them Facebook page and check out the U.I.C. It is the running party. They are registered and them are come for the JLP and the PNP position. And I want some people to understand this. Don't get caught up in the PNP and the JLP there a long time. Me know what me I get. Right? Me don't know what me I get when me vote for U.I.C. No. Change your mentality. If you want to see change, try something different. Try something different if you want to see change. What's the point of recycling the same thing over and over and over when you don't see no change when you recycle them? You understand? Now, is the U.I.C. going to come and make a change? We will have to see when they get in power if it ever happen. Now, the person this morning said to me about Unstoppable. You know why most people now go vote in a new party? Because when them think about it, them are going to say, the chance of the U.I.C. winning are go slim. So you know what? Let me vote for JLP. Or let me vote for PNP. But that is the mentality that needs to change. If you feel like the chances of a new party winning very slim, your one vote are go better the chances of that new party winning. Oh, me so, my general?
Bridget, me totally agree with you. And me just going to say this. How long has JLP and PNP given the country to run for collectively the both of them? The years.
Real.
What is this? What is the state of the country now? Let's give the U.I.C. 15 years out of that day, 60 years out them get, and look see what they can do.
Real.
Big man. Cause me I listen to them now very carefully.
Hold on, me I go try see if me can add.
They must say all the right things then.
Hold on, my boss. Me I go try see if me can add a member of the U.I.C. Cause me have his contact. Me I go try see if me can add him. Cause we need enough to hear from the U.I.C. I hope me can reach him.
Yeah, man,
This is the vice president of the U.I.C. Me I go try to reach. Oh, sorry, my boss. Just decline that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, man.
This is the vice president of the U.I.C. Me I go try to reach right now. So we can get theme input on certain things. Seeing? Hope me can reach him. Me add him to the conversation here. And come Monday, tomorrow, I should be having a live conversation with the president of the U.I.C on YouTube, right? I should be having a live conversation with him tomorrow at 4. Devon, you hear me, my brother?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right, good. All right, people. Hold on. All right, everybody who now hear Devon, talk again, make we see if them I hear you.
Yes, I'm hearing you. What's going on?
All right, big up my brother. All right, so people, this is Devon right here, and he is Devon. You're the VP of U.I.C, right?
Yes, I'm the Middlesex Vice President.
Before you come on, I've been saying to the viewers that people has been stuck in this mentality that we know what we have, but we don't know what we are going to get if we vote in a new party. You know that mentality there, right, Devon?
Yeah.
And I'm telling them, it's time for a change. It's time for us to try something different instead of trying to say, all right, then we're going to stick to the evil when we know. Now, the reason why I add you to this conversation, Devon, is because I want you, and I'm telling them that we're going to have the president, Mr. Patterson, live on YouTube tomorrow to discuss, right? But the reason why I'm adding you right now to this conversation is I want you to kind of open up their eyes a little bit as to why the U.I.C is different than the present party them where them are recycled over and over and over.
Okay, that's a very good question.
Speak up a little bit more, Devon. You sound low.
The answer is very. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The answer is very simple enough, and the answer is this: because we are you. See what you just said right now about staying with the status quo and not choosing another individual, another political party. We were you. So you know what we did instead? We created our own political party. You know. So before I joined the U.I.C, I was searching. I reached out to the JLP. I reached out to the PNP, and what I heard, I didn't like it. Right. So I kept searching, and I found the U.I.C. and I read the U.I.C's manifesto, and I got involved, and I became a part of the process. So that is how you become sure that people who are working, you're working with, people who are supposed to be working for you, are going to be doing that for you and not necessarily for a political party. You have to put yourself in the process. I always say to people always ask me, so Devon, how can I trust you and how can I trust the U.I.C? And I would always respond and say, listen, you cannot trust any man, you cannot trust any woman, you cannot trust any political parties. You don't know me, I don't know you, I don't know Andrew Holmes, I've never met him, so how can I blindly put my trust in him? You can't do that. You cannot blindly put your trust in anybody. So what you have to do is put yourself in the process and get involved. Get to know the people who are there. Get to know the vice president. Get to know the president. Get to know the other members of the National Executive Council. Go on the website, read the manifesto, find out where these people are coming from. So for me personally, I am not a politician. I've never been involved with
Devon, do me a favor. Sorry, Devon.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do me a favor. Because your audio sound kind of low, and I think it would be better if the people can see you. Much better.
Yeah.
All right. So you were explaining the reason why persons should vote for the U.I.C. That's not what you were explaining, but that's why you tell me now.
Okay.
Let me put it to you the right way. Put it to you the right. For a man that has always been voting PMP, or a person that has always been voting JLP, why should they now say, you know what? Let me try the U.I.C.
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. That is a very tough question. You know, I'm going to tell you why it's a tough question. Because I'm coming from a non-partisan aspect. For example, I've never been a supporter of the PNP, neither have I ever been a supporter of the JLP. But I'm going to try my best to answer that question. No one in the U.I.C. is a politician. We are not close to any politician. We are regular Jamaicans like you. So what we did was we created a system designed by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. And this system is what we call a non-partisan constitutional republic of Jamaica. In this system, we're getting rid of the Queen,
we're getting rid of the Governor General, we're getting rid of the Prime Minister, and we're going to be replacing them with a president for the whole country. Then we're going to have 3 vice presidents, 1 for each county. And then we're going to have 14 parish managers. And all of these people are going to be directly elected by the people of Jamaica. So in the system that we have right now, a lot of Jamaicans don't know this. Jamaicans think that they voted for Andrew Holness to become Prime Minister. They didn't. What happened was you voted for an MP, and that MP now went into the party that formed a majority in the government, and then the Governor General appoints the individual within the House who has the most confidence in the House. So I always use that as an example. Let's say that Juliet Holness had the confidence of a majority of the House, and the JLP actually wanted Andrew Holness to be Prime Minister. The Governor General actually has the power to choose Juliet Holness over Andrew Holness. That's how the system we have right now, that's how it's designed. So our system is designed for Jamaicans to directly elect a president, vice president based on the region, of course, and directly elect a parish senator, and directly elect a MP. Now, here's the thing I love a lot about the U.I.C system that we designed. In the old system, I always go ahead.
Hold on, Devon. People, you want to do right now. I know you enjoy the conversation. And I know you want to learn from the conversation. Why you not share? Share out the stream. If you're not share it yet, share it right now, because you not get some information from your brain where you don't need. Everything that Devon said a while ago, I know someone like to hear. And it's full time. Jamaica gets a party that is going to care about the Jamaican people and not just themselves. And one of the things that I like what Devon said, the party consists of regular Jamaicans. And nobody will feel like them uppity. And nobody will look down upon the people and say, we better than them. That is one of the things that he said that I like. I don't know here the part where the man said, if the U.I.C gets in power, they might get rid of the Queen. They might get rid of the Governor General and everybody else who is over, who's supposed to be leading with. So right now, we want to share out this, send it to some whole heap of people and make more people come pack up over here and here we are going. All right, continue, my general.
Yes. So in the system that we have right now, so you know the Prime Minister has multiple departments that he's running. Right, he's the Minister of Defense as well, and he's the Minister of Economic Development and all that stuff. And then we have MPs who are Ministers of Government, and we have Senators as well who are Ministers of Government. In our system, we cut out the whole of that. All of that gone. So MPs no longer have the opportunity to become Ministers of Government. They're only now restricted to what they're supposed to be doing. Being an MP, let me ask you a question, and this is why sometimes I can't really fully blame the Prime Ministers for how they acted. How can we expect the Prime Minister to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica and an MP? It doesn't make sense, because the Prime Minister, your duty is split between the whole country and your constituency, right? Who are you going to put first? The constituency or the country, right? Are you going to be playing favorites? So that entire thing is cut out. So now Ministers of Government are going to be appointed through the Senate and the House of Representatives. And here's the thing now, the president in our system has no power to fire that individual. The only way the president can get rid of that person is if they file an official complaint, maybe a letter, and send that to the Senate and send it to the House of Representatives. And if the House agrees, then they can remove that minister. And why do we do this? We do this to consolidate people power into the hands of the Jamaican people. The system is designed to remove the power from the top and push it down to the bottom. And in this system, we have a recall process that we're going to be putting into the Constitution. So let's say that a MP or a president or a vice president comes and says that, sent to the Jamaican people, okay, elect me, and if you elect me, I am going to ensure that St. Thomas gets the biggest hospital or the best hospital ever, right? And then you elect this guy, and then you realize that this guy was lying. this guy wasn't telling the truth, then the people of Jamaica have grounds to recall that politician. And that's what we want. We want people to have power. What we have right now is a 4 to 5 year dictatorship. You elect MPs who become the prime minister, and then this person rules with an iron fist for 4 to 5 years, and you can't do nothing about it.
Which is not good. Which is not good. I have a whole heap of questions here now, but I wonder if I should ask you these questions, because then the people will be getting your answers compared to the answers. Because I'm going to be putting these questions to Mr. Patterson, you know. But I wonder if I should just hold off and wait for Mr. Patterson to answer the questions that I have. Right? But we're on for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, man, we're on for tomorrow.
All right, so people, we will be live tomorrow at 4. 4?
Yeah, I think it was 4:30. Wasn't it 4:30?
4:30, fine.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so people, we will be live tomorrow on YouTube with the U.I.C's president, Mr. Patterson, right? Mr. Joseph Patterson on YouTube. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, make sure you put that in our alarm clock. At 4:30 tomorrow, you will be hearing from the U.I.C's president himself. And we will be giving him the hard-hitting questions that he will have to answer for the Jamaican people. You understand? We're not going to worry about nothing. Give me a minute, we are going to give him the question so that he can answer, because we want answers. We want to know what difference he will be bringing towards Jamaica if he should be elected. And more, see, tomorrow, the reason why we're even having this conversation is for persons to clean them brain, clean the mindset up. We're not putting a new party. Go on, my brother.
Yeah, so just 2 comments in the section there here that I want to respond to. So the U.I.C stands for United Independence Congress. And the other thing that I want to address, the president of the U.I.C, Joseph L. Patterson, is not related to Joseph Patterson, what's his name? PJ Patterson of the PNP. He's not related, and he has never met PJ. I saw a question in there. So I just want to get that clear.
See, persons in the comment section that say if one of the VP I say sound good, we can't wait to hear from the president. Yes, all right. And the thing is, Devon, I think one of the major problems that people have is they don't know what the party has to offer. So we need to teach them. We need to teach them that, hey, listen, when we get in power, and see, this is one of the questions, I'm going to put it to you. I'm going to ask Mr. Patterson tomorrow, but I'm going to ask it. Over the years, we've heard parties, whether it's the party on the left or the party on the right. Every single speech is, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. If I am elected, I am going to do this. And that is the promise. We've been hearing promises over and over and over, and then as soon as they get elected, the promise is gone through the door, and nothing is ever fulfilled. What difference is the U.I.C going to bring where that is concerned? Why is it that we should accept the U.I.C saying, you know what, when we come, we are going to do this? How do we know that when you get in power, it won't be the same old story?
So I can tell you anything, you know. I can come here and tell you anything and tell you that, you know, I'm going to come into government and I'm going to do this. You're asking the people why should they believe us? And I'm saying that what you need to do is to actually get involved. The U.I.C is one of the most open, actually, the U.I.C is the most open political organization in Jamaica. Anybody can come in, talk to the president, talk to the VP, find out what is going on. One of the things that we said that we're going to be doing is revamping the country's emergency services sector. A lot of Jamaicans left Jamaica, not just for crime, but because of emergency services. I think they're saying that, you know, if I'm in an accident or if I get hurt, you know, the ambulance, there's no ambulance coming. The fire truck is going to take 2 hours, 3 hours, probably 6 hours to arrive. I know of people personally who I have personally watched died. Two persons died in a hospital, in an accident in Portmore. And I stood there and I watched the firefighters walking around. And when I asked them, why aren't you helping the gentlemen? They said that they don't have the tools to help them. So they stayed there and died in the accident. So one of the things that we're saying we're going to do is to revamp the emergency services system. But a lot of politicians make promises from the sense of spending millions or billions of dollars to do something. And what I want people to understand is that the money that you're spending is your money. It's taxpayer dollars. And in some cases, they don't have that money to spend. So,
Devon, we're going to touch on the money spending part, because that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
If the U.I.C gets in power, is there going to be accountability? Because we see where the present government and governments before this one, whether it's the rotation system, we see where the Jamaican people not get answers for a lot of missing money, right? So if the U.I.C gets in power and they are the leaders of the country, will the Jamaican people know where every dollar is being spent, where it's going, or is it going to be all secret?
It's definitely not going to be secret. And one of the things that the U.I.C wants to do is to make everything move to technology. So right now, how the system is set up, you have to go into the tax office or you have to go into this office to get things done. So we want to put everything on an app. So you have access to every single detail of the government. So if you want to go in, you can type in the government budget for the year, department budget for the year, etc., etc. So we want to make everything available on an app. It's sort of a government app that you can go in and you see everything. Sorry, I lost my train of thought just now because I saw a comment in here.
I think maybe the same comment, Is it the one where you say, how can persons overseas participate?
No. I saw a comment about crime.
Okay, stick up in on that one.
Yeah,
let's answer this question.
Yeah.
You see, the person asks, how can person overseas participate? And that is very important. When it comes to election, can persons overseas vote?
All right, that is very, very tricky. That is a tricky one. So if you have your voter's ID, wait, are you asking if persons overseas can vote in the system that we are creating, or are you asking?
No, I'm saying the present system, because a lot of Jamaicans living overseas right now would want to vote, but they are overseas. Is there a way that persons living overseas can vote?
If you have your voter's ID, you can come to Jamaica and vote, yes. But if you don't have it, it might be a little tricky, because then you're going to have to come, apply, and I believe that some folks are supposed to come to your house to ensure that you live at the location. So if you can't spend 2-3 weeks,
I think there needs to be something put in place where citizens of Jamaica who is living overseas can vote. Because I think persons out of the country should have a say as well. Because a lot of Jamaicans living overseas who still want to vote, like myself. Because if I was in Jamaica, I would definitely vote for the U.I.C. Right? So we need to see how that can happen. Now, that probably won't happen until the U.I.C gets in power and say, oh, we can look at this happening. But I think that's something that.
So you know, one of the things that we were exploring is to get Jamaicans in the diaspora, like in Canada, the U.S. and the U.K. to come together. And this was before the pandemic and everything happened. We wanted to see if we could get everybody to come together to see if they could basically raise funds. Everybody book the same plane, book Airbnbs, hotels, come down, and everybody does do the voters ID registration. At the end of the day, we need the vote of Jamaicans in Jamaica, but we need the diaspora vote as well.
Exactly.
We need the diaspora vote, so it's very important. So you see, if you're in the diaspora and you can come to Jamaica for maybe a month or so, you should be able to get your voter's ID. I've heard of people come in for like 2 weeks applying and leaving the country, and they still get the voter's ID. You can try it, take a chance. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the crime thing, because that's one of the major concerns of every Jamaican. Because it seems the parties before and the parties present is not too focused on crime. if the U.I.C gets in power, maybe, Devon, do you think I should leave these questions to Mr. Patterson? Or you think
Um,
he'll have different answers?
he might have, so it's not necessarily different answers. It's a variety of answers because we come from different point of views, you know. So it's called the United Independence Congress, and there's a reason why independence is there, because we're all independent thinking individuals. Sure, our policies are aligned, but we might come from a different standpoint. For example,
All right. So in that case, give me your take on what the U.I.C would probably come with to say, you know what, we are going to tackle crime in this way. I'll still put that question to Mr. Patterson tomorrow.
So first you have to ask yourself, what is the cause of crime in Jamaica? Some people might say poverty, some people might say corruption, some people might say poor education, some people might say there's a lack of decent paying jobs. But the answer to that question is bad governance. The root cause of crime in Jamaica is bad governance. The bad governance is what creates corruption, poverty, poor employment, poor healthcare, poor education. So some people would say that dancehall contributes to crime, or dancehall is a cause of crime. Violent dancehall music is a cause,
a contributor.
Contributor to crime, right? But violent dancehall music is only a symptom of bad governance. So you see, you have to tackle them all at once. You have to deal with bad governance, and this is why the U.I.C is so laser focused on the system of governance. Because at the end of the day, the biggest criminals in Jamaica, should I say this on the live? The biggest criminals in Jamaica are politicians. And I'm going to say that straight up. The biggest criminal in Jamaica are politicians, and we have to hold them accountable. Once you hold them accountable, you deal with freedom corruption, then we can start help the people them. Right now, we have children in Jamaica not going into school, and we know that 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds are the contributors to a lot of crime in Jamaica. Young children, and they're not in schools. They are being recruited by gangs. They are being raised by gangs. So one of the things that we have to do, we have to separate the youth from these gangs. And one of the ways that the U.I.C wants to do that is through a youth employment program. So you say if you leave high school, you're not going to university, you're not going into a job, you're not going abroad to travel the world, then enter the youth employment program. And that will starve the gangs of new recruits. That youth employment program has stuff like firefighter training, paramedic training, you learn about policy, agriculture, farming, you learn about economics, financial literacy. So we want to prepare the youth of Jamaica to be, go ahead.
I just want to put this out there, that anybody who is checking in on this live stream, who is new to how I do things on this live stream, let me tell you now, we do not allow disrespect. So if you want to share your opinion, you can share your opinion, but just make sure that you keep it respectful. Anybody come here and type any kind of nonsense that we allow will be blocked instantly. I just want you to know that we are all mature adults over here, and everybody can share their opinions, but just keep it respectful. All right? I just wanted to put that out there. Any single person I see writes any form of disrespect, you will be blocked. I'm just saying that. All right, sorry about that. Continue.
Yes. So I'm saying that there are things that we can do to deal with the massive amount of crime in Jamaica. But one of the biggest things that we can do is to fix the system of governance and deal with the corruption that we face. Because we're the Jamaica make guns. So where are the guns coming from? Right? The guns are coming through our ports. A lot of people don't realize this, but it is not a criminal offense per se for somebody to import an illegal gun in Jamaica. You ever wonder why is it that when guns come in barrel, they don't arrest the person who's supposed to get it? Because the person is not in possession of it. You have to be in possession of the gun to be arrested for it. Right? And I think this is on purpose because, as you know, back in the days, politicians on both sides of the equation imported guns into Jamaica, so they can, the poor people of the country can wage a war against each other, the political war that we had, comrade versus labor right. So I think that was on purpose, and for some reason, I don't know why they didn't get around to changing that law to allow the police to be able to charge, arrest, charge, and prosecute individuals who are importing illegal firearms into Jamaica. But Unstoppable, I'm out of time because I gotta jump on a call with Joseph.
It was good talking to you, my brother.
Yes.
And you've given very valuable information. But this just goes to show that the conversation with Mr. Patterson tomorrow is going to be 100% good. So people, this is Devon. Devon, give them your last name.
Thompson, Devon Thompson.
All right, and this is the Vice President of the U.I.C, the potential new party of Jamaica. Or should I drop the potential?
No, drop the potential, man. The U.I.C is going to become the next government of Jamaica, and we will start seeing real change.
All right, big up yourself, Devon. We'll talk tomorrow, all right?
No problem, all right.
Tomorrow, 4:30 on Unstoppable TV, over there on YouTube. We need to make sure that we forward and listen to the reasoning between myself and the U.I.C's president tomorrow on YouTube. All right? And anybody who feel like there's questions that you need answered, send them to my WhatsApp and say, Unstoppable, I want you to ask this question to Mr. Patterson tomorrow, and I will ask you questions. Just send all the questions and I will ask them directly so that you can get your answers. You understand? Because that is what people need. People need to know what they are voting for. People need to know what they are getting. You understand? So tune in tomorrow, 4:30, and send your questions to me via WhatsApp 876-420-3368, and I will jot down everything. And well, as long as they make sense, that is. I will jot down everything and I will put them to Mr. Patterson tomorrow. All right. And trust me, I have a lot of questions of my own that I will be putting to him as well. You understand? I am also trying to schedule a discussion with Damian Crawford as well. I reached out, so I'm just waiting. I'm trying to schedule a discussion with Damian Crawford as well to see how that will go, because a lot of persons like the way how Damian Crawford talk. So I want to get him on the live stream as well so that we can talk to Damian Crawford as well. A connection has been made with the leader of the opposition, the PNP as well, so that we can see what we can talk to them about too. No, the present party, that one they kind of hard, because, you know, but we're not going to get into why. But I'm trying to have conversations with all these parties so that you, the people, can have somebody to ask the questions that you need answered, and they can answer them. Because I love you understand that. I understand that when these people go to do an interview with the mainstream media, they are told in some cases what they can and cannot ask. We want to know that. You understand? So we want to get them on the platform where we can ask them the real questions that you, the regular citizens, want to hear the answer to. You understand? So like I said, tomorrow at 4:30, we're going to have Mr. Joseph Patterson from the U.I.C. And as I hear Devon said just now, he's not even going to say the potential government. He said it's going to be the new government. You understand? Yeah, man, E-Banks, that's the truth. Them get the questions beforehand and they know what. We're not going to do that. We want the people to get the answers that they need answered. You understand what I say? So, no, Philip, trust me, those things are going to be addressed tomorrow. You understand? Those things are going, I'm going to put that to Mr. Patterson tomorrow as well, and, you know, get his answers. Because we need to hear the crime plan. What crime plan is going to be in place when the U.I.C gets in power? What is going to be in place to look out for the poor man when the U.I.C gets in power? Is something going to be done to make sure that when the police get out of hand, you know, they are disciplined? You know, all these things needs to change. You understand? So, Because presently we see where police can box down and kick down and thump down anybody and nothing no come out of it. We see where police can shoot and murder anybody and nothing no come out of it. So we need a party that is going to look out for the actual people. That is what we need. You understand? We want a party in power that is going to actually look out for, Debbie, there you go too. We have to ask those questions as well. What are we going to do about the lack of jobs in Jamaica? What is your plan for that? See it? What are you going to do about yeah, man, that's the IG page that just added me just now. It's the U.I.C. Just type that in. Most of them should have clicked on, there you go, at U.I.C. Jamaica. Thank you, Natty Shine. See it? So just go follow the U.I.C. and also follow them on Facebook, right? And trust me, they want all of our help. They want my help, they want Funa help, they want everybody help. So you can spread the word about the U.I.C. See, you right now can start spreading the word about the U.I.C. So if you're on Facebook, you can go to their page, visit them, see what they're posting, and repost it back to your Facebook page. And that will bring awareness. So those who did not know about the U.I.C, you can make them know about it. You understand? What you can also do is you can say, yo, I'm voting for the U.I.C in the next election. Just write that on your page. You understand? And one of the things that definitely needs to change is we need to start convincing the people who say, yo, I will never vote for none of them because all of them are the same. I'm going to ask Mr. Patterson tomorrow, what can he possibly say that will convince that person to vote U.I.C? And that one, they're going to be a hard answer for giving up. But I'm going to ask him, because, you know, some people say, oh, we would never vote for no politician because every politician I see him. You know? And that's the problem, Natty. There you go. You understand? Some persons need to understand that because you have the same two party going back and forth, right? You will never see change because the two of them come in and do the same thing. The two of them come in and do the same thing. And before them go in, everybody has a good song with them sing. Everybody has a good song with them sing before them go in a power. When them go in a power, it's a different song them are sing. So why not try something new? Now, like I said before, I can't say when the U.I.C gets in power, things is going to be different. But all we can do is wait and see. What do you think about it? All we can do is wait and see when them go in a power. And guess what? When they go in a power, we are going to hold them accountable too. But I feel like we are going to say, yo, a U.I.C we say, and U.I.C nothing else. If them go in a power and they are not doing what they are supposed to do, then we vote them out too. You understand? Because we're not playing favoritism. We're looking out for the Jamaican people. And that is what we're saying. So change is what we need. And I think the last party that went up against the JLP and the PNP, was it DNA? Was it DNA? Somebody tell me. Was it DNA? I think it was Bruce Golding. Somebody tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. I think the DNA, I may not even know if the DNA is still there or if it's abolished. Is it the DNA? Was the last party that was formed to go up against the PNP and the JLP? NDM, thank you, right, NDM. Right, National Democratic Movement, right, there you go. Right, they tried and they failed, right? They tried and they failed. And a lot of people say, well, if the NDM couldn't do it, then no other party can do it. That is not true. That is not true. I think what the U.I.C needs to do, this is one of the things that the U.I.C needs to do. The U.I.C needs to start going from community to community. And UNO, as the people now in these communities, needs to be more welcoming of the U.I.C. So when the U.I.C. come, UNO nobody come around here say, man, a JLP meeting there, or a PMP meeting there. No. You as the citizen needs to be more welcoming and allow the U.I.C. to come around and tell you what changes they can bring to your community. And by your community, I'm talking about they can make change to Jamaica, which will then in turn make changes to each individual community. You understand? So the U.I.C. needs to start going from community to community. It no matter whether it's a JLP or PMP, stronghold, them just go to communities and try to convince every Jamaican citizen of why Jamaicans need a change. See? But it, UNO, as Jamaicans as well, have to start accepting that there can be a change. If you have the mentality where say, yo, man, a die-hearted PMP, I'm on a die-hearted labor right, a shower me say, or a power me say, the country will never get better. Never. The country will never get better if you have that mentality. See? Will never get better. And say, Philip, that's the thing. That's the thing too. And that's one of the reasons why them fail. Because, okay, you go form a new party, but still have members of the JLP and members of the PMP in the new party. So that wouldn't have been no change different. That would hold on them. They really think people fool. You go form a whole new party. And the new party where you form consists of members of the JLP and members of the PNP. So what kind of change would that come? When I see them all people, them come just with a different name. That wouldn't make no sense. But what I like where Devon said just now is that the U.I.C. is regular people like me and you. That's one good thing right there. So you know what that says? We know the struggle. See it? Oh, me never see it, man, up top. Me never see it. Me never see it. See it? We know that simply means we know the struggles. We know hungry. We know what it's like to be mistreated by the powers because we are regular people like me and you. See it? Me never born privileged. Somebody said to me, say, answer, but why you not going to join the U.I.C? You would have probably get a whole heap of votes. Why? I don't know me hate politics. See it? Actually, you don't know me hate politics. No, funding is definitely needed, but guess what? That is where we come in as well. That is where we come in as well. Because, you see, because the U.I.C is not backed by money, it's going to be hard to. So we as Jamaicans who want a change can help by contributing to the U.I.C's efforts as well. You understand? That's one way. We also want change because remember now, you have to go, they have to go get me. And don't think, you see the JLP have the rich people, them about them. See? The PMP have money people about them. The U.I.C needs us. No man, see, no, I'm serious. Somebody said to me, somebody said, answer people, why you not go join the U.I.C? You probably would get a heap of votes. And probably would, but probably not enough to win no seat. See? But probably wouldn't get enough to win no seat. I probably would because I am influential. You understand? And I do have some devoted followers. Maybe devoted to support me on social media, but not as a politician. But me hate politics. One thing with me hate, you can't deal with politics at all. You know, but yeah, some people say, not some people, someone said it to me. And I said to the person, say, not me. Not enough for me at all. You know, but all right, up top, respect. See it? Miss Smith said I would vote for you. It looked like would I win at least 150 vote out of the live, yeah. But yeah, you know, the thing about it though, truthfully speaking and seriously speaking, Jamaicans tired. See it? Jamaicans tired. Tired of the same thing, tired of the foolishness, tired of being ill-treated. We're tired. Right? We're tired. I asked someone just yesterday, I said, Daniel, blessings. Daniel, you miss a whole lot, you know. You just a forward, you miss a whole lot. We had an awesome conversation over the past 4.5. But this is something I asked someone yesterday, because I was having a conversation. I said, if the PMP is in power, and election call, and the JLP go in power, what change do you really expect to see? That was the question I asked someone yesterday. If the PMP is in power, and then election call, and JLP go in power, what change do you really expect to see? Somebody answer that for me. Somebody answer that. Me, I'm looking at the comments. What change do you expect to see? And I'm talking realistic changes now. For the country, what change do you expect to see if you have the PMP in power and then the JLP goes in power after election call? Or vice versa? They say, I want to be security minister. All right. What change would you really realistically expect to see when you're rotating the same two parties? What real change? Swiss Pumpkin said no change. No change. See it? This is why you're not going to see any change. Because all you're doing is recycling. All you do is taking out that one here and putting in the next one. And then when election come again, you take out that one there and put in back the next one. And no change. The only time change is going to come, me tell you know when the change is going to come. Dr. Mia, blessings. The change is going to come when we, the people, decide, here, we want to do away with them two parties. You know, understand what I'm saying? When we, the people, decides that we want to do away with those two parties, we are play with the feelings, I play with my life, I play with my livelihood, do away with them and end the monopoly. Thank you up top. See it? Then we will see change. And you know how we're going to see the change? When we put a party in power and then say to them, say, listen, we are going to hold you accountable. Because remember, we are the government, not you. So we are going to hold you accountable when we put you in there and what we say goes. So if you go in there and do foolishness, nobody thinks that you're going to stay there. See it? It's about time now for we stop from allowing politicians to just push anything down we throat and we take it. We as the people should have a say. Oh, my son. We as the people should have a say. So the politicians should be there to look out for the best interest of the people. The best interest of the people. So the politicians, when them go in a power, if them say light bill get too high, we need to look at that to see what we can do so that the light bill not constantly arise from poor people we can't afford to pay it every time it rise. Oh, my son, when the politician go in a power, if a police officer kills an innocent person and it can be proven that that happened, that officer should be held accountable. And we are going to make sure that as your government, as your leaders, we are going to make sure that that officer is held accountable. That is what you're there for. As your government, we are going to make sure that we put things in place that every child goes to school, whether the parents can afford it or not. That is what we're going to do. We're going to look into a way where that can happen. As your government, we are going to make sure that we look into ways that we can create jobs for the jobless. That is what they are there to do. As your government, we are going to make sure that we give the public the information that they deserve to know. Simply meaning, no politician not supposed to do private contracts, and if they road them to make a fee private company do the job. Wanna listen me, you know? Wanna listen me, you know? Because no found no knows that them think they are going. No found no knows that them think they are going. No found no knows that them think they are going. When contract are gone, Stush Pumpkin blessings. When contract are gone, when road work are gone, you have the politician will have him in construction company, and instead of it going on to the man where I try to eat to, it's here right and going a feed pocket. See him? Another thing that I said yesterday is this. There is no prime minister that goes in power and comes out with less money than when going there. Prime minister go in a power and come out richer than him go in. You don't know that, right? You don't know that, right? When a prime minister go in a power, him come out richer than how him go in. Anybody else didn't know that? Anybody else didn't know that? You see, one of the things that we need to look at is that the poor people are going to always suffer when the prime minister and his party members only want to make sure that them no hungry. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong when I say prime minister. I'm not talking to any specific prime minister right now. I'm just talking about whichever prime minister it is. I am not aiming this at any specific prime minister. I'm talking about whichever prime minister it is. When the prime minister in power, him and them people them in a parliament nice. But the poor people will always be hungry. Because them now look out for the poor people. See? Good point you make right there, so. And that was a part of the conversation I had this morning too. Big pension after them leave the house. Why? Why? Why is there a big pension? Why is it that after them left the house, you still have taxpayers' money after you maintain them liberty? Make sure that them still live nice and happy same way. Why? Now this may be a hard one, and I'm going to ask the U.I.C. president tomorrow when he's on the live. Now, if you're just joining this live, I'm inviting everybody to join me on YouTube tomorrow at 4:30. I am going to have the president of the U.I.C. with me on YouTube, and we're going to be having a conversation. Now, this is a question that I'm going to ask the U.I.C. president tomorrow, and it's going to be a hard one, but I'm going to ask him. If the U.I.C. should get in power, what can be done about the taxes in Jamaica? What can be done about the tax system in Jamaica? Because Jamaicans have been getting taxed left, right, and center for years. Unstoppable TV, it's going to be live on Unstoppable TV tomorrow. Right? Jamaicans has been getting taxed. I feel like Jamaicans has been getting raped, as a matter of fact. We'll put it that way when it comes to taxes. So what can be done about the tax situation in Jamaica? Jamaicans have paid tax for almost everything, if not everything. So what can be done about that? See, what can be done about the high, ridiculous rates when you pay customs when you try to ship in anything? What can be done about that? Eh? Why? Customs have to be so high. Why? So it's going to be hard if the U.I.C. gets in, but certain things definitely have to fix. See? Certain things definitely has to be fixed. If the U.I.C. gets in, we're going to be looking at them to do some hard things, you know. But we're going to ask, right? And I'm going to be putting these questions to Mr. Patterson tomorrow, right? And like I said, I'm trying to get Damian Crawford to come on the interview with me, right? It wouldn't be tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow is Mr. Patterson, but I'm trying to get Damian Crawford, and we're in communication with the opposition leaders team as well to see if I can get a reasoning with the opposition leader as well. And then, you know, we can ask some real serious questions. That's another one to not to shine. That's another one right there. You see it? But why you see, the thing is, this whole COVID thing right now is the focus. And with, you see, why? Why, you know what? Let me leave the question them thing, Mr. Patterson tomorrow. You see it? Now, people, as I say, if you don't have any specific questions, direct questions you don't want to ask, send them to me on WhatsApp and I will jot them down. Or send them to me DM, write us up on Instagram, and I will jot them down so that tomorrow we can ask every question and we get the answers. Make sure it's on the on YouTube tomorrow, Unstoppable TV, 4:30 p.m. And don't miss the live reasoning with Mr. Joseph Patterson tomorrow. All right, now go make sure I'm share the live stream and back up on YouTube. So most I don't know where they are right now. I go see it on YouTube. I said, Chuck, I see him live this way. I just know. But I'm going to share this because they don't want to stream it to Facebook and YouTube, and for some reason something hack up on YouTube and Facebook never did hear the sound. But definitely tomorrow evening, 4:30, I will be on with Mr. Patterson. Not to try to make it, man. Try to make it. And if you're there at work, just go and squeeze the earpiece in your ears and hide and listen. See? So big up to everybody who tune in to this live stream. It was a good one, very informative one, you know, and tomorrow will be even better. All right? Blessings, and I will see you tomorrow. Bless up.
Right now, you know we unstoppable. Unstoppable.